The Entrepreneur's Library, episode 205.
Welcome to the Entrepreneur's Library, the only book-centric podcast that reviews all the top-selling business books and shares authors' perspective firsthand. This is your resource to finding the next great book that will enable you to grow personally and professionally. Welcome your host, Wade Danielson.
Welcome back to the EL. Today we have Sujan Patel, author of 100 Days of Growth. And I know we talked about it the other day, but I want to reemphasize, please connect with me on Twitter at Wade D. Danielson. And that way you can get updates on the authors that we're about to have on. So you guys will have a firsthand look at that, but also so that you can message me and let me know exactly who you would like to see on. Some of the new books that are coming out this summer, some of the new reads that you're wanting to dive into, but you don't know quite yet if you want to invest the time and money into them. So again, please connect at Twitter at Wade D. Danielson. Without further ado, let's bring on Sujan. Welcome, Sujan, and thank you for joining us on the Entrepreneur's Library.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Before we take a deep dive into your book, 100 Days of Growth, will you take just a moment to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you personally.
Yeah, so I've been doing digital marketing for 12 years now. I've worked with hundreds of clients, helping them grow their traffic and their revenue through search engine optimization and just pretty much anything online. And so over the years, I've worked on a lot of different projects, a lot of ideas that have failed, and a handful of things that have worked. And my concept for the book is actually to put together my learnings and the successes and in a repeatable fashion.
Excellent. So first off, thank you for sharing that. And now let's jump right into that book, 100 Days of Growth, which was made available actually not that long ago. You said mid-January 2015. And Sujan, we're going to move quickly, but our whole goal here today is to answer the questions that our listener / future reader would like to get answered before picking up your book. And the first one is, what was the inspiration behind writing 100 Days of Growth?
Inspiration is just, the biggest thing is I wanted to make something where people can follow along. It's everything, every tip on there and tactic is something you can do. And ideally, if you did one thing a day for the next 100 days, you're going to see some exponential growth. My inspiration really was wanted to take all my learnings, and there's tons of things on the web right now, and always has been, around how to grow your business, but how do you do it for yourself? How do we make it actionable? And that's kind of when Rob and I, my co-author, came up with the idea. We're like, let's take all the crap on the web and actually make it useful and tactical and actionable. So that was kind of the backstory of the book.
And what would you say? This might be one of the most important questions because of how many books are out there and how many books will come out on a daily basis. For an entrepreneur. So what makes your book different from others regarding the same or similar topic?
The biggest thing is that we try to, I've personally weeded out a lot of strategies and tried the 100 things I ended up including in the book. And they worked. They worked for somebody. And the biggest difference besides that is actually that it's not a long read. Each tactic, each page is something you can really easy understand. And then there's like 3 to 5 steps on how you can do it yourself.
Excellent. So based on what you were just saying there towards the end of how you kind of designed it, this next question is based on that. How do you suggest the reader engage with your book? Based on the way you just said, the way you guys broke it down, can a reader jump in cherry picking information as needed? Or did you guys really design it to be read from front to back?
You can jump in. It's one of those books that you can just literally choose it, look through the table of contents and kind of think about what you can do or what you have time to do and choose one, whether you are a solopreneur and want to have a quick win or have a development team and you want to fix or improve your onboarding.
Excellent. So Sujan, we're to my favorite part of the entire interview. And that's where I really want to just almost hand over the mic to you and allow you the next 5 to 8 minutes to really take this future reader through what they can expect to get out of your book. Will you do that for us?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
From the book, you're going to learn a lot of how to repeat and how to implement things like A/B testing your homepage. And I'm sure you can read all this stuff on the web, but this is specifically the one thing you need to A/B test. The second thing you need to A/B test, and in that right order. You can go through and it kind of covers all things email marketing. So let's say you have a SaaS business and you want to try to get upsells. There's a chapter or a few tactics on that. If you're thinking about how to leverage your traffic more, there's things like the exit intent pop-up and or if you want to build a referral program, there's a simple way to get started. This is not the end all be all. This is a way for you to start and with success, with success with a successful method essentially. And it will kind of talk, the book spans around a lot of different things, all around getting more revenue from your internet business, whether it's more traffic through emails or upsells, or better demoing your product, which is essentially going to improve your conversion rate, or getting some sort of ROI from your customer support team or through live chat, or sending out free t-shirts and using that as a catalyst to grow your business.
So Sujan, is there anything else? And thank you for taking us through that. And I guess this next question is going to go to put that even further in a nutshell. But if the reader could only take away one concept, one principle, or one action item out of your entire book, everything that you wrote down, what would you want that to be?
The principles that I want the end user and the readers to kind of take away is that you should always be testing new concepts, right? And I'm laying out 100, and as you read the book, you're going to probably find a few hundred more. And so what I want people to walk away with is that it's not that you don't have to spend months strategizing and planning. You just start doing. And I think people, from who I've talked to in the last few years, people overemphasize the planning and de-emphasize the actual doing, not by intentionally, just by accident. And so the book takes you back to actions, and actions cause other actions, which my hope, and I've gotten a lot of feedback from our audience, from my readers, saying, "Wow, I've actually implemented 3 of these things, and it's gave me 5 other ideas, and I'm already seeing an impact." So the message is walk away with doing, not planning.
Excellent. And Sujan, do you have a favorite? This is kind of an awkward question, but do you have a favorite quote from your book, something that you wrote that you really feel like will resonate with people? And will you take a minute to explain what it means to you?
Yeah. So I don't have as much of a quote as I do my favorite tactic listed in the book, which is actually the first tactic. It's just giving away a free company t-shirt. Honestly, it's such a simple thing. Yes, it does cost money. I've personally made a little under $1 million just from giving away free t-shirts from my agency. So that really to me is my favorite tactic. And it doesn't have to be very fancy or elaborate of a delivery mechanism, but people really love free t-shirts, something they can wear. And in the book, I kind of go through as simple as a process to create a t-shirt as possible. What I mean by that is, yes, it's simple to make a t-shirt, but don't include fancy, just include your logo or something brandable, but not too much. Think of it as like a Nike symbol. That could be in anything. And when people are branding your company like a Nike shirt, that's when branding and growth really starts to happen. And so that's my favorite part of the book personally, because I've seen such tremendous success from it.
And you go pretty far in depth into that story, because as soon as you say you almost made $1 million from that technique, it makes me want to dig deeper in. But I also realize that we're going to keep that future reader hungry. So do you go into pretty good depth on exactly how you did that?
Actually, I go into how you can do it. And then there's a couple articles you can read, one of which is my own, where you can read the stories of how it impacted people. And actually there's 3 tools you can use to do it too. So it doesn't go in depth in the story behind it. It really focuses on, okay, you like this idea, let's do it. Oh, you can also read these other things more about it if you so choose.
Excellent. Well, very good. Well, Sujan, thank you for sharing about your book. And this next question is not only, we're not asking for any recommendation, we're asking for the book recommendation. So if there's only one book you could suggest to our listener, based on the way that it's impacted your life, created a paradigm shift or a lifestyle shift. And it doesn't have to be a business book, but what book would you recommend?
My favorite book of all time is Good to Great by Jim Collins. I guess it's a business book, but to me, what that book kind of goes into is really about starting with a great or having a great company, a great product, something great. And that is a lot of the marketing. That's the fact that you have, let's say, great morale or great culture in the company, or even, and more importantly, a great product or service. That's a lot of the marketing work. So by doing that, the lessons I've learned was build something great. Don't settle for good. And Jim goes into the details of I believe 7 to 10 companies and the difference between a company in an industry that's good versus great.
Fantastic book. That definitely, that's a great recommendation for a paradigm shifting or lifestyle shifting book. So thank you for that. And Sujan, before we depart, can you recommend the best way for our listeners to not only get more information on you, but also get more information on this book, 100 Days of Growth?
Yeah, the best place to go is to the book website, 100daysofgrowth.com. And if you want to email me, my email is listed on the very bottom. Or you can check out my blog at sujanpatel.com. That's SUJAN Patel.com.
Perfect. Well, Sujan, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your book with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks again for listening in today. If you'd like more information on Sujan or his book, 100 Days of Growth, check out the show notes at theelpodcast.com.
Looking for your next book idea? Head over to theelpodcast.com, where Wade shares his amazing resource, the top 10 business books recommended by over 500 entrepreneurs, with you for free. That's theelpodcast.com. Till the next time, keep it on the EL.